be too long. We've got 16 people on the grid tonight for the stream. Or I say for the stream, for the race, the 2 races we've got in store for us today. The first round of Season 4 is ahead of us. So if you are watching post-race, skip ahead to the intro, shouldn't be too long. And we'll get ourselves going as soon as we can. I just need to get myself sorted with the stream, etc, etc. And then we should be good to go, hopefully. Already got one person in, you guys are quick. We've got Max in, we've got Callum in, hello. I went Australian there. It's because we're going to Australia. Going to Australia. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. Should I do the whole stream in Australian? Should I just be like, and it's lights out and away we go? Yeah, you make sure you spell that name right, mister. Crikey. Yeah, exactly. Crikey. Bloody amazing. Should I do the intro in an Australian accent? Nah, I won't. I'll save you guys the trauma. But nonetheless, hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to APPF1. It's that time once again for the Sprint Series. With pre-season in the books, we return to our beloved format of 1 shot and 2 at 25% races. The pecking order is established, but with the tables reset back to 0, we may see some surprises up and down the field. It's all to play for in the hectic championship that we've come to know and love. Season 4 is upon us then, with all 3 of our previous champions on the grid. Could we see them take their first ever double, or will it be a new contender in the mix? All questions that will be answered come season's end. But for the opener, we head down under to the streets of Albert Park and then to the Sea of Orange in Zandvoort. Both circuits are tough and challenging. With difficulties to overtake, drivers are going to need to pick their moments to claim victory. I am Sweeney, your voice for Sundays and returning as commentator for Season 4. I certainly cannot wait to get underway. A brand new chapter for APPF1 and the Sprint Series is now opened. And we're now heading ourselves into the very hectic 1-shot qualifying where it's balls to the wall, everything on the line. And you've really got to give it your all. But also be mindful not to invalidate on the first lap, because well, then you're starting at the back, and with everything that with the difficulties that it is at Melbourne, you're driving upside down for one, and second of all, it's very difficult to overtake. So you've got to be mindful. You want to get a good lap in, but you don't want to risk it all as to invalidate your lap time. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, that is indeed it. We'll ride on board then with Ghost, a man on a different wheel tonight after following his braking in towards turn 1, braking just after that black box, then on the left hand side through turn 1 and 2. Should be pretty comfortably flat for turn 2. Then you hurdle down this back straight towards turn number 3, and you're looking for that black box once again. Brake completely in a straight line down to second gear, roll it through. Very nicely done from Ghost, and then fourth gear, maybe third through turn 4 if you can. Get the power down and flat through turn 5 as you end off sector 1 through turn number 6, this little kink to the left, and then turn 7 you slam down on the brakes for, and then through this long right-hander of turn number 8 where you really have to just give it your everything, and then looking to the left-hand side, braking in between these 2 boards. You want to clabber that curb on the inside, third gear, roll it through. Ghost with an insane first sector. Zuba at the moment is on provisional pole with AP Pounce and Ghost, your top 3 towards the infamous turn 11 chicane. You really just got to give it your everything, chuck it in second, 2 gears down in towards 6th. You've got to be careful not to spin. DRS open then as you make your way down towards turn 13. Braking between the 2 braking boards once more, down to third gear, roll it to the exit of the track, use the exit curb. Pouse at the moment provisionally on pole into turn number 14 into 15, second gear, roll it through. This is looking like a really good lap for both Pals and Ghost. Could be very close. Davila up into P3, and now as we make our way towards the finish line, who's it going to be on pole position? AP goes fastest, but very closely matched from Ghost. AP on pole with Ghost on the front row, very marginally separated, just about 2/100ths of a second between the 2, and you couldn't ask for a much closer qualifying for the first race. That was incredibly close, but it is the Alpine of Paus, 2/100ths of a second between himself and Ghost in the Aston Martin that make up the front row. Davila in P3 with Tier rounding off the second row. Zuba a good first sector, but very marginally missing off P4. MX in P6 with Season 2 champion of Ted in P7. Starry, the home hero, in P8 with Blair in P9. Vardy, two-time runner-up in P10 with another home hero of Alex in P11. Patterson in P12 with Saki in P13. Gilbert, Max, Sumo, all disqualified or not setting a time in one shot. It's a very harsh world, but what a lap from Palps. Of course, he's coming off the high, winning in Austria for the Friday Championship a couple of nights ago, and he's done an incredible job today as well. Probably one of his first pole positions, I think, in a while. So he's done an incredible job in one shot, but he's got it all to play for in the race. We know how good Ghost is, and he's on a new wheel as well, so should be slightly... Shut up, Moosey! No, he's not going to spin. He's going to do well. He's got that confidence. He didn't spin once in Austria. Let me have faith. He's going to do 2 in a row. Come on, Pals. He's on pole. He's got Ghost next to him. Can Pals start another season off with a high? And we'll have to wait and find out. Around about 13-14 laps of the Australian Grand Prix for the first feature race of season number 4 is upon us. And I certainly cannot wait. The formation lap first to get the cars lined up on the grid. We go green for that. It's an Alpine on pole with an Aston Martin alongside. 15 laps of the Melbourne Albert Park circuit. Can he lead a successful formation lap? Let's see. But the pressure's on for Palf, certainly. We've got very quick people up and down the grid. We've got Ghost alongside. Davil is there, sandwiching Ghost with Alpine bread and an Aston Martin filler for the sandwich with Tier in P4, Zuba P5, MX in 6th. So MX once again disappointing. Well, I say disappointing, it's still P6 of 16, so he's done an incredible job. But again, not where he wants to be in quali. He's often confident that he can get pole, however often falls short, and then in the race he's so aggressive. He uses that ERS to punch his way through the field and then has a more comfortable middle and end stint of the race. So we'll have to see exactly where's the fan support. Everyone's a Pals fan, even when they say they're not a Pals fan. So I think everyone's cheering him on, but then again, he's won quite a lot recently. We're going to get bored of the Pals domination, I'm sure, very soon. But yeah, Ghost on his new Logitech G29 for tonight after a mechanical failure for his T150 a couple of nights ago. Cost him the win in Austria and allowed Pals to get the better of him. So he's now on the G29 there. Arguably a bit of maybe a sidestep from the T150. Both Thrustmaster and Logitech pretty good. I'd say the T300 is probably the step up. And then of course to the Fanatec and Tier, one of the best qualifying sessions he's had in P4. Zuba as well, he's very high up. Must be liking the Albert Park street circuit. Surprisingly enough, I didn't actually know Albert Park was a street circuit for quite a while, which is bad to say. It was sort of like midway through 2019, I think, where I actually realised, hey, it's a street circuit, which you'd think it's obvious because of the walls and the street markings, but I just didn't know. And I also at one point thought the Nürburgring was in France. I don't know why. I think it was following the car throttle, where he went from the Nürburgring and back on 1 tank of fuel. I would have just thought it was in France, but we don't talk about it. It's not... yeah. Regardless, we've got a race ahead of ourselves. I don't want to embarrass myself too much. We've got Palps then on pole, Ghost alongside, going towards turn 1 and 2. Who's going to come out on top today? Season 4 of the Sprint Championship. It's been 3 great seasons, and we're going to open Season 4 in the new game, hopefully with a cracker. A track that's notoriously difficult for overtaking, but it's not impossible whatsoever. Who's going to come out on top? It's Palps from Ghost, Davila and Tier, your top 4, with Zuba rounding off the top 5. We go then to 5 red lights for the Australian Grand Prix. Down under, 4th light, the 5th red light, and Season 4 of the Sprint Championship is underway, and it's a great start from Ghost, who already pulls alongside Palps, now coming towards turn 1. Palps looking, staying on the outside, but Ghost is comfortably up the inside. Tier trying to follow through as well. MX with a good start, sends it up the inside, gets himself up into P3 already, but Ghost leads from Palps. MX in P3, that's a big crash further back. Who's that into the wall? I think that's the Mercedes, or in fact the Aston Martin of Vardy gone into the wall. No, it's the Mercedes of Starry, the home hero, already having a big collision with the wall and seeing Barrier very early on. Shouldn't be a safety car, but Tier staying station in P4. MX with a great start up into P3 already and trying to chase after Palps, who not had the best of starts compared to Ghost. He managed to get his way up into the lead of the race and towards turn 9 for the first time then, and Palps is all over the back of Ghost, really trying to give it his all. We've got Gilbert at the backside of the grid, we've got Carnage up and down the field, we've got Ted, Season 2 champion, not having the best of starts, Red Bull taking away his wings as he goes for a lovely little donut, but as long as he finishes this race, he'll have the reverse grid race and will start on pole position, so all is not lost. Palps keeping Ghost honest, and Tyr getting up the around the outside of MX, putting that pressure on, going to try and go for the switcheroo potentially in towards turn 14. He's looking, not quite able to though, and Davila lurking in the wings, ready to pound Pomme Alex. Another home hero getting himself into the top 6, so too is Max. A great start from the youngster, but we cut back to the fight for the race lead. Lap 2 now is upon us. Ghost leads from Palf, MX in P3, Tyr P4 with Davila rounding off the top 5. 29-1 then as we get ourselves on to lap number 2. One more lap until DRS is enabled. That's Davila on the back of Tyr. We go further down the grid. Is there anything happening? That's Sumo heading his way into the pit lane and Patterson staying out. We cut back to the front. No, in fact, we've got side-by-side action. This is Davila down the inside of Tyr, gets his way done and up into the top 4 through turn 3. Pretty comfortable move, and now he sets his sights to recover from a pretty shambolic start for the Alpine. He sets his sights on MX, a driver who's going to be looking very quick. In fact, hasn't wasted a lot of ERS. That's usually quite surprising for him, but pretty much all of the top 4 really keeping it sensible. House on the back of Ghost. Let's see if he can get through. Very close on the braking. That was very much his leg cramping up, I'm sure, to get that car stopped, but he gets it stopped nonetheless. The top 3 separated by virtually nothing around the Australian circuit. So far, a great start. No carnage for the front lot so far, but the turn 11 and 12 are going to be very hectic indeed. So driver's going to have to watch out. The Alpine tucked up nicely in the slipstream to Ghost, and once again it's these two that are putting each other under pressure. Of course, you look to the Tier 1 race in Austria on Friday evening, and these two are really giving each other a tough time. It was Ghost that leaded from Palps exactly like this, but instead of the Red Bull ring, as we now round off lap number 2 and on to 3, where DRS will be enabled, that drag reduction system to help these guys get themselves down the straight. Palps goes quickest, the 24.425, and he's going to have the DRS potentially. In fact, no, he's not going to get it until turn 11 and 12, because the detection point is actually all the way back as you go into turn 14, funnily enough. So yeah, no DRS for these guys on this particular occasion. All he has to do is stay close, not let the dirty air get the better of him, and stay right up behind the Aston Martin of Ghost. He's going to be giving it his all. That's Pomme Alex and Max squabbling for position as well. Further back, Vardy trying to get past Patterson, who returns for Season 4. Patterson, of course, a renowned streamer. Very, very good one at that. Just hit 1,000 followers on Twitch, in fact. And in doing so had to dye his hair pink, and of course a very respectable feat of running a 24-hour charity stream for men's mental health. So yeah, it's a pleasure to have him on, and he's currently running inside the top 10 comfortably, but he's got a very, very quick driver of Vardy all over the back of him. Arguably Vardy not having the best start to the season, and needs to maybe get himself accustomed to the new game, but Palps definitely giving Ghost a run for his money. That's Davila getting his way past MX up into the podium places once more, but MX is going to come back at him though, maybe to the inside of turn 14. He decides to be a little bit more sensible. That's Max up the inside of Pomme Alex and drops him down to P7, but as the leaders now come through the final corner with DRS, Palps is going to be looking to scorch his way down this straight and close that gap to maybe have a look towards turn number 3, but we'll have to wait and see. He comes towards turn number 1, lap 4 of 15. When are these guys going to come into the pit lane? Probably in a couple of laps time, surely. DRS open once more. That's a yellow flag. That's Zuba out of the session after a pretty poor start for him. That's a VSC being brought out. So basically we've got on the controller and we've pressed pause on the race. Now Zavadi and Patterson both, and Gilbert as well, both take this opportunity to come into the pit lane. Very, very quick decisions, both because they're going to be on fresher tyres to the end of the race. Patterson strapping on those softs. They're going to be on fresh tyres. They're also, everyone else being slowed down by the VSC, they're going to gain quite a lot of it. It's not quite a free pit stop, but it's definitely a good pit stop at that. So when the track goes green once more, they're going to be looking pretty good. They've already made their stop, whereas everyone else still has to. So good decision from them lot to get themselves in. Gilbert going for the hards, Patterson for the softs, and Vardy for the mediums. He's managed to get through under the pit lane. But we'll see. That's a full course safety car. In fact, it's been upgraded from a VSC to a full safety car. So surely everyone is going to come in, and that may be why Davila is backing up, so they can double stack in the Alpine pit box. Of course, Davila and Powers very good teammates together. And I think Davila, yeah, he's back in the pack up, so they've got that window of opportunity where they can double stack and not be held up in the pit lane. So who's coming in? Ghost, surely. Yeah, so too is Powers. These 25% races really blow things out of the water. everyone coming in. It's a very busy pit lane. Hopefully they don't get held up. They're quite far down the pit lane, so they shouldn't. But Ghost in. Let's see if Pals can jump him. They're literally in the same pit box. Hopefully the Alpine, oh, that's close. He's been held for a couple of seconds, but not too much. So Davila getting a good jump, and it's Ghost from Pals once more as they queue up behind the safety car. Everyone coming in. Has Vardy managed to gain from this, in fact? No, he hasn't. Vardy, that's a shame because he come in as the safety car. Yeah, it was a good decision in hindsight, and probably if it wasn't upgraded to a full safety car would have been the better option, but because of the full course safety car, yeah, that's a shame. For them, but still a long way to go. It's not over until it's over in motorsport. But yeah, it still goes from Paus, MX and P3, and because of the double stack and down at Alpine, it's a P5 for Davila. He's going to have to work his way up to the front once more. Zuba was sent to the Shadow Realm in turn 1, and he went to see his good mate Barrier as well for good measure. Home hero of Starry then, who's used to driving upside down, the blood not getting to his head too much. With Ted, a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It's going from bad to worse. Salt in the wound for the Season 2 champion, who's going to try and launch another title campaign this season to make it 2 out of 4. That's the thing, actually. If any of the previous champions, Ghost, Scott or Ted, win, they've got a 50% sprint championship win rate, which is quite good, I guess, if they win 2 out of 4. But could we see another unique championship winner? We've never had 2 all individual for Ghost, Ted and Scott, all of which I think Vardy were actually runners up in. I think Vardy was runner up to Ghost and Ted and Scott by marginal amounts as well, literally not a lot in it, and I think it's criminal that Vardy hasn't won a sprint championship just yet. But with his pace on the new game, it's very, very, he needs to get himself together quickly. And very quickly at that, because yeah, I think the biggest, sorry to say it, Vardy, you are an incredible person and a great driver, but I think the shock, I shouldn't say disappointment, the shock of the season has been Vardy being in P9. We thought he'd come in, set the ground running and just absolutely dominate, but he's been there in what has been such a tight midfield. All throughout APPF1's history, we've had the front guys and the midfield not close behind, but the midfield so close in terms of pace, and he's stuck in that. But who knows? We'll see what the future brings. It's still early doors for the new game, and Vardy is Vardy. I'm sure he'll come to adapt and do very well. But we'll have to wait and see. That is going to be the thing. It's always wait and see for motorsport if things aren't going your way. But never say never. Even in this race, he could do well, and we never know. So, yeah, lap 6 of 15, still under the safety car, should be in this lap, provided Ted doesn't bin it, nor stay that far behind the grid. Prediction, big crash up front, TFW. Scott, why aren't you racing? I said in the intro, every one of our champions are on the grid, but you're not, and you've disappointed me. You're the only champion not on the grid. It's a shame, it's a shame. We've got Vardy, the tier 1 champion. We've got Ted there. We've got Ghost. We haven't got you. Season 3 sprint champion. Family, fair enough, family. Family, because, you know, you're Dom Toretto and family's everything, which is fair enough. But yeah, bold prediction, crash at the front. Hopefully it stays clean. Safety car is in this lap, so Ghost becomes the effective safety car. Going to be slowing the pack up, backing him up through the final sector to get himself a good launch, and then we'll be back on the green flag racing. The Mercedes AMG driven by Bernd Mailander is going to be pulling his way into the pit lane, and then we'll be back on the green flag racing. It's going to be a very hectic start. You can see everyone queuing up. Ghost very much taking his time, weaving around left to right, right to left to get some temperature into those tyres to try and help him to warm up those tyres and give him as best restart as possible. But Palps is going to be right there with him, trying to put that pressure on, and he's going to not let him get away. When has he punched it? He's punched it very early. We're back under green flag racing, arguably maybe a little bit too early. He's sideways out of the final corner, so Pals has managed to stay with him. It's a very close gap, and we're back under green flag racing once more. Ghost leads from Pal for MX in P3. Davila already getting past here for P4. No crash at the front just yet. Vardy on the back of Saki coming towards turn number 1 for P8. Can he get his way through? Not quite, because you're not on the brakes for very long for turn 1. So it's station for pretty much everyone. He gets a bit of a squirm through turn 1. In fact, that could leave him open for Patterson to launch a counter-attack, especially considering he's on those soft compound tyres. But Pal's on the back then of Ghost, with Davila on the back of MX, as well as Tyr on the back of P4. That's Devlin. Hello. It's a pleasure to have you in, mate. Hope you've been well. It's been absolutely wild, in fact, since I've seen you. But Pal's, yeah, on the back of Ghost then, who's not had the best of restarts, and Pals is really putting that pressure on early, trying to close the gap as best he can. No DRS, of course, until we get to around about lap 9. No pit stops for the entirety of the field, bar any damage, because they've all done their mandatory stop and should be comfortable to the end. So it's a straight sprint in the sprint championship between Pals and Ghost for the race lead. That's Vardy getting his way ahead of Saki, who may have gone round or just had a bit of a spin further back, with Vardy up into P8, Patterson into P9. Station at the moment. Saki, yeah, he's gone through turn 11 and 12 and has lost quite a lot of places. Down now back to P14, maybe even 15, because Blair's going to look for it. Not quite going to be able to go for it, unfortunately, though, on this particular occasion. Funny enough, I saw you on my recommendation page. Funny. Well, hope you're doing well, Devlin. I hope your mum's okay as well. So yeah, we'll it's been a while between me and you. That's Tyr, though. He's had a bit of a spin off of the final corner and is now plummeting down the order. But we're going to go back to the fight at the front, because there's only 4 tenths between the two leaders. Ghost still leads ahead of Pals and MX and P3. Those top 3 have really stayed the same for quite a while. Saki, 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Not the first person to do that, in fact. But we look further down the field. Patterson on the back of Vardy. I'm doing absolutely stellar, mate. Absolutely incredible. Patterson, a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as he loses a place to Gilbert. Maybe got a bit of a slide off of turn number 5. That definitely cost him a little bit. Starry, though, trying to get himself into the top 10. Home hero Pome Alex is out of the race, though. What has happened to him? He's had a spin coming off of turn number 8 and into 9. He's spun round. He's in the wall. And that is a very horrible way to end your home race for Pome Alex. A driver we know could be quick and has been quick through pre-season. But for Pome Alex, it's a shame. It's his first round and he's ended it in the wall, which is a shame. No full course yellow, though, as of yet, as we come on to lap number 9. DRS will be enabled this lap, and they'll get to use it on the run down towards turn 13. ERS enabled for AP Pals as he looks to hunt down Ghost, and he's kept him nicely in his sights. These two very equal on pace, both on the same wheel. One more seasoned than the other. Ghost only getting his today, so he's doing a great job nonetheless. They've adapted to his new wheel as they now hurtle down this back straight and towards turn number 3 for the 9th time. House just needs to keep him in his sights. That's Vardy. He's had a bit of a spin. He's gone round at the exit of turn 2. So too has Blair. They've sort of tandemed their way through and have managed to get themselves going with little to no damage, I believe. So both getting his way going, and Ted making his way up in towards P11. So yeah, that's both Vardy and Blair going round. Vardy really not having a good time so far this game. But nonetheless, we go back to the fight for the race lead. 6 tenths between the two. Davila also on the back of MX. That could be a fight for the podium places. Try and make it a double Alpine podium through turn 11 and 12. DRS enabled for Pals. He tries to chase after. Blair has also DNF'd on the exit of turn number 5. Is it a full course yellow? Yes, it is. It's a safety car once again for the Australian Grand Prix. So Blair is out. This could open the door. A window of opportunity for Vardy to maybe come in and put some softs on. It definitely is a 2-man race. Vardy spins under the safety car, in fact. At the moment, it's Pals versus Ghost. Davila trying to make it a double Alpine podium. Max up into P5. Very good result, considering there's very quick guys on the grid. The majority of this grid made up by Tier 1 drivers. You've got Ghost, Pals, MX, Davila, Sumo, Tyr, Ted, and Vardy, as well as Zuba. They're all very quick guys. And he's up in P5, I say Zuba. He's out of the race, but it's not very hard to beat someone when they're not racing. However, shouldn't be too long under this safety car and we can get ourselves back on the green flag racing for the final 5 laps of what is the Australian Grand Prix, and what has also already been a very interesting season opener for Season 4. Because, yeah, Palf's coming in, we got for his first pole, Ghost got a good start, managed to get away well. And then from there, Ghost has managed to control the pace, lived under that pressure, not allowed it to get to him. No need to rub it in, mate. I'll always rub it in. You're just lucky your mates aren't here to completely slag you off in the chat. Yeah, calm. To be fair, it wasn't you that ruined my race in Hungary. It was it was Speed when he lagged. No disrespect to Speed. He got a slide and I couldn't avoid him when he lagged, but it was you knocked out one of the big contenders for the race lead. So if I'd have stayed in, I reckon easily I could have won that one, but I bottled it. But yeah. That's you. Grandad Bonkers tight at the front. Very good stuff indeed. It's a shame this isn't a track notorious for overtaking. Otherwise, I think it could be a very good scrap. But still possible in Melbourne. I'm getting stick in the party chat. Don't worry. Well, you've always got the reverse grid race, which at the moment Vardy will be polling, and Zuba, you'll be starting right at the back of the grid in P16, mate, because you DNF'd, unfortunately. Poor for you. Very unlucky. I think we should be going under green flags next lap around. Should be pretty good. But for next lap, should be in. Ghost still leading the way. So, yeah, should be the last safety car, hopefully. Otherwise, I'm rage quitting here. Hopefully, I don't get rammed in the rear T. I mean, you're at the back, so you've got no one behind you, so you should be fine. Should be absolutely fine. No worries at all there. But lap 11 of 15, then we've spent pretty much half of this race under a safety car, but since then, under the green flags, it's been a good race. Not much in the way of wheel-to-wheel action, but certainly a tense fight at the front. We haven't really had time to look further down. There's not been much on, and well, I'd rather be looking at the fight for the race lead than the fight for P12. But nonetheless, yeah, should be going green on the end of lap 11 onto lap 12 with 4 laps of racing left to go. The feature race of season 4. So everyone's here. We got Saki rounding off the grid at the back, Vardy P12, Ted P11, and Patterson just about inside the top 10. He's got 3 drivers behind him. Sumo, a good recovery from what has been a pretty poor start for him, but yeah, he's a good driver. He's a fighter. He'll take it to the end if he needs to. So we'll see. Safety car is in this lap, confirmed by race control, and those are some very overcast skies. Shouldn't be anything in the way. It looked a lot cloudier than it actually was. It's still quite sunny, so no rain involved in this one so far. But yeah, Ghost is going to lead us around. You can see already backing off the pack around that 80 miles an hour mark that he kept consistent to last time around, and backing everyone up to the safety car line, and then he'll punch it as soon as he can, and then get himself going and try and get the jump on Palps. He's going to try and be all over his diffuser and gearbox towards turn 1. He needs a good reaction time. When is Ghost going to punch it? He's raring his way up to go through the final corner. When is he going to punch it? And when are we going to go back under green flag racing? Palps is all over the back of him, really wanting to get going. When is Ghost going to punch it? He's punched it. We're back under green flag racing. I think Palps has been caught out a little bit. MX on the back of him then as we go green onto lap 12. There's yellow flags towards the back. I think there's maybe a bit of a collision, but we're back green nonetheless. Palps from on the back of Ghost. 3/10 between the two. MX also putting that pressure on. He's going to go for the move on Palps, who has to look in his mirrors rather than forward. Is MX going to go for it? Looks to the right hand side, goes down the inside on Palps and gets himself ahead. Is he going to stay ahead? Palps not with much to say about that, so MX on an absolute charge to the front. He gets a bit sideways though, and it's an Alpine 3-4 with MX P2 and Ghost leading the way. Davila right up on the back of his teammate, who's still on the podium. but he's going to be wanting to chase that race win. We got pretty swamped off the restart. His tyres seem to be quite cold as well. His teammate could in fact go for the move. Max as well is also on the back for this fight for the podium on genuine pace, and he's doing quite a good job. So Ghost leads the train, and Max looking all over the rear end of Davila. Could he go for the move in towards the turn 11 and 12 chicane? Look at you two lovebirds in the chat. Jesus Christ. Go get a room, you lot. But Patterson on the back of his teammate, who's on the back of Gilbert. The Mercedes chasing down the Red Bull AP on the back of MX, not quite able to find a way through. Very overcast skies recently, in fact. Might see some rain, maybe. Who knows? Towards the very tail end of this race, it looks quite gloomy in some areas of the track, but still Ghost unable to drop these guys behind, and we're only going to get maybe 1 or 2 laps under DRS and conditions. But that's Davila closing the gap to his teammate. Isn't going to go for the move. Surely they're going to work together as to not lose too much time. And towards turn 1 then for the 13th time of 15. MX goes in very deep towards turn 1. That's going to open the door for Palps. He's going to try and go up the inside. MX leaves the door open, so Palps is going to fill the space. He's going to try and replicate the move that MX did to him a lap previously. MX tries it on the outside but concedes the position, and this is all music to Ghost's ears as he tries to get his way ahead. But Palps is not going to be letting him breathe at all. He's going to be relentless. He's going to be all over the rear end of Ghost for as long as he can and try and find a way through. Very full batteries up and down the field as well. Davila looking to get himself onto the podium and try and get his way past a very knocked MX, who's lost his momentum potentially after being overtaken by Palps. Max as well looking to get his way into the mix, along with Gilbert and Ted. Very close top 7. Any one of these guys could get themselves onto the podium. No DRS though, as we still wait for the 3rd lap after the safety car. Should be the one after this one if my math is correct, and I think I can in fact count to 3. Ted on the back of his teammate Gilbert coming towards turn 13, pulls to the right hand side, gets his way up the inside, and I don't think Gilbert's going to be fighting that one too hard because the season 2 champion is on a mission and he wants to get himself into towards the top 5 on those fresh soft compound tyres though. 2 tenths is the gap between the Alpine and the Aston Martin at the front. Can he go for it towards turn number 1? He's using his ERS, he's trying, he's closing, he's got the slipstream maybe towards turn number 3. Ghost looking in his mirrors, is Palps going to go for it? He looks but doesn't send. Ted the fastest lap, a 24.424, and now through turn 1 and 2 for the 14th time, the penultimate lap. Palps is all over the back of Ghost, who defends to the inside. The Alpine pulling to the left hand side. This is his best opportunity since the start of the race. Ghost defends, Palps can't quite convert. He's going to go for the switcheroo. They're going to be side by side through turn number 4. Palps around the outside, keeps the position. Ghost giving him a right all the way to the end, but he has to back out through turn 5, and Palps takes the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. Ghost settling for second. What a wheel-to-wheel fight that was between Palps and Ghost. MX P3 with Davila P4. Palps retakes the lead, and he's got a lap and a half left to go in this race. Can he hang on to it? Davila is on the back of MX. Ghost needs to try and utilise DRS and use the ERS he's got left to launch the counter-attack. Otherwise, it could be game over for him. What a move from Palps to get his way ahead, and what a defence from Ghost. But he's going to have that drag reduction system. He's all over the back of Palps now, coming towards turn 13. The counter-attack very much truly on. Is the Alpine far enough ahead? He looks to defend. MX very slow. Max coming up the inside of Davila, maybe towards turn 13. Backs out of that one. But a very chaotic restart. Then the top 7 separate by virtually nothing. Now Ted on the back of Max as we come on to the 15th and final lap of the Australian Grand Prix. And what a season opener we've had. We said Australia can't produce good racing. Well, it certainly proved us wrong. Ted a good exit off the final corner, and now looking to get past the youngster of Max. Pulls to the left hand side, gets himself ahead. Palps leads from Ghost. MX P3, Davila P4. Who's going to get P5 as we go through turn 1 and 2? Ted with a 3-second penalty forces Max off the road. Patterson now going to look to try and get both of them in one fell swoop. Pulls to the right hand side, does Ted. Patterson on the outside, they're both on equal tyres. Around the outside goes the Mercedes though, nearly goes off the track, just about keeps it on, but the Red Bull going to go ahead of him, keep him wheel to wheel through turn 4. Couldn't fit a sheet of paper between the two, and Patterson around the outside, contact between the two. Ted is sent sideways. I thought we were in Australia, not Tokyo, with such a drift such as that one, but Ted manages to save it, and Patterson into P5, but with penalties will still be P5 in fact, because Vardy isn't close enough behind, and Palps already out of DRS on the final lap. Goes trying to keep his way in. What a bit of fighting this is between the two. It's been a race-long fight. And now through the turn 11-12 chicane, Palps a little bit sideways. Same too with Ghost. MX just about within DRS range, but Davila, he's running out of opportunities. MX defends. Davila looks to try and set up the switcheroo maybe in towards the final sector. Patterson lurking in the background also. And Max might lose a couple of places because of his penalty, but still. And Palfs, he's got one more corner left to negotiate. He got pole, he got P2, and he tried for the entire stint to get through, but on the penultimate lap he gets his way through. Palfs crosses the line to win the Australian Grand Prix with Ghost in second, MX third with Davila P4 and Ted P5 after penalties. Patterson P6, in fact Vardy P6 with Patterson P7, Max P8 with Saki in P9. What a race that was to start off season 4. We could not have asked better for that. What a race. What a race from Palfs to win that one. And that is one for the TikTok mark. That is why I started it, for moments like that where I can clip it up and show everyone what good racing we have in store in AP, because whoa, what a race. What a race. That's 2 races on the bounce for Palfs, and he's maybe starting to get a little bit bored at the front. He now leads 2 championships, the Tier 1 and also the Sprint Championship. How long is that going to last for though? Because he's going to be at the back for the Netherlands GP. Oof, what a race. And we've still got one more yet to go. So don't go anywhere, guys. Go get your cup of tea. Go take a 5-minute breather, because the reverse grid race is in just a moment's time. So 15 laps of enthralling action here in Australia. It's Palfs that takes the win from pole, but that did not tell the whole story. The Aston Martin in P2, with the Alfa Romeo of MX in P3. So, after 15 laps, I think we need to take a breather after that one. Palfs takes the win with Ghost in P2, with MX rounding off the podium. Palfs' teammate Davila in P4, with Season 2 champion Ted rounding off the top 5. Vardy in P6, Patterson P7. A good result from Max from 15th to take P8. Saki in P9 with Tyr rounding off the top 10. Sumo in P11 with Gilbert P12. Home hero Starry didn't get the points that he would have wanted, but still some decent ones on the board, and he will start pole position for the Netherlands GP. Blair in P14 with Pomme Alex and Zuba rounding off the grid as your DNFs. So certainly do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, because the reverse grid race is on in just a few moments' time. Four more subscribers until 500. Actually, come on, let's go get your family, your dog, your cousins, whoever it is. I don't care. Get them to subscribe to the Zach Sweeney channel. Oof, well, just sent my my congratulations over to Palf after a great race, and again, as he said, congratulations to Ghost, because on his first race on a new wheel, to finish second and comfortably lead the race for a good 14 laps, well, 13 and a half laps really, really did well adapting to a new wheel, and he's still got the Netherlands GP to go. MX as well, a good race from him after a pretty disappointing qualifying. Davila too, he lost one position in the race overall, I think. but still put that pressure on, and very easily could have maybe gotten himself onto the podium. But it's all shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's about what you can do in the moment and how well you can do it. And, well, certainly cannot wait for the race in a second. I think Alpine lead both championships then with Paus and Davila, but it's only one race into the championship. We've still got, I think, actually, let me check the calendar. The commentator never really actually checking up on things. Let me have a little look at the sprint calendar. So it's a, if it loads, would be absolutely amazing. It's a 6 round championship with 12 races total. So we go to Netherlands today, Australia and Netherlands today. We go to Silverstone and Sochi next week, Spa, USA, Singapore, Brazil, Baku, France, and then Japan and Abu Dhabi to round off the season. So it's looking like a really good calendar, in fact. So yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. Oh, I nearly dropped my phone. I had to use some Spider-Man sensors to catch that one. But yeah, looks like a good calendar. I'm looking forward to it, and in just over a month's time, in fact, the season will be drawn to a close. So yeah, sprint. It's a sprint championship. It's a sprint season as well. So you've got to be on your toes. Of course, season 3 was only 4 rounds long to round us off for the new game. So 12 races, every race counts. And yeah, as you say, Scott, don't know why Dave is allowed to host after the shambles that was Tier 1 with his lobby hosting skills, but still host anyway. Yeah, very true, very true. So very good calendar, and a very good season, I think, set up for us. With, yeah, when I'm out of breath after that one, I can't lie. It's not often that I say I'm actually genuinely out of breath after a race, but I am. So that was a cracker of a battle, and now we go to Zandvoort, and even should be a pretty good one. Max Barwick's so annoyed. You didn't bottle it. You still finished P8. Like, you still did good from P15 on the grid. Like, you didn't do bad. You finished P8, and yeah, you could have been on the podium, but you did well. And the fact you were there on genuine pace, excluding a penalty, you were P6, I think, or P5. You did a great job. So don't beat yourself up about it. You still got this race to go, so keep going with it. You've definitely made strides in the right direction in the new game, Max. So give it your everything. Don't give up, and you'll be looking pretty damn good. And we'll see what we can do. Hopefully we can get ourselves going very shortly. Shouldn't be too long yet. So come in, have a chat, go get your cups of tea, whatever you want to be doing during this little intermission between 2 races. But yeah, come on, have a chat. I don't bite. And so long as, you know, Scott and Mark aren't flirting in the chat, it should be fine. They should go get a room, maybe. But yeah. 18 laps of Zandvoort. I probably should check how many laps it is before we go into the race, and then I won't be guessing. Oh, should be 16, 17, maybe 18 laps. I don't know. Give the stream some likes. Exactly. Just click the thumbs up. There's 6 at the moment. There's 7 of you watching, 5 of you watching. Where have you all gone? There was 12 of you at one point. Come back. The race is about to start, guys. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are enjoying it. It goes a long way. While YouTube maybe isn't my biggest goal, my biggest aspiration, still helps. Gets the name out there. Do you know what I mean? Come on, guys. Do me a favour. A little thumbs up doesn't hurt anyone. Exactly. Depends where you're putting the thumb up, but just be careful. Don't be doing a mark and sticking your thumbs where the sun don't shine. I think Sumo wants to get his way going. Get us underway. Yeah, here we go then, getting ready for the Netherlands GP formation lap, and then 18 laps of the Zandvoort circuit, newly refurbished for the for the 2020 Grand Prix that eventually got cancelled, and we're going there, I think, after Spa, is it? We're going to the Netherlands. I mean, they're right next to each other, so it makes sense. Belgium and Holland are pretty much touching, so... Yeah, they are. Are they border, like, adjacent to each other? I think so. I should know. But everyone's back now. Moosey's back. Here she is. And you doubted Palves once more. You doubted him on... No, you didn't, actually. You said you were a big fan, which was complete sarcasm on Friday. And you doubted him again here. It's disappointing. You have no faith in your husband at all. You should do a race. Lobby's glitched, is it? I don't think so. It looks fine to me. And if it is glitched, we can blame it on Dave or Bluey. One of the two works. Sumo left. Is it? Sweet. Yeah, Sumo isn't in. I just hope that the lobby glitch doesn't happen where I have to restart the stream, because that'd be really annoying. Like, really, really annoying. Because that's effort. Having to... Olaf Tiernan's in. Yes. Let's see if there's any updates in the Discord. I'm not sure. In comes Tiernan. What's up? Nothing much is up at the moment, and yeah, no, nothing much. Nothing up with me anyway. The Wi-Fi on my phone is playing up. It's really annoying me. Grandad Bonkers is back. Here he goes. He's gone for his nap and he's come back. So we got everyone coming back now. Give the stream a like and all that snazzy stuff. Goes a long way. Session starting though in just a moment. Have we got Sumo? I don't think we've got Sumo unless he's joined back, but I'm not sure. But it is clear skies over Zandvoort. Sumo, he's here. He's in P3, but he's got a ghosted car, so hopefully he can get his way back in for the race. So it is Starry on pole position. He's got Gilbert alongside him on the front row. This is the race. We're going straight into the race. It's the format is one-shot qualifying for the feature race. That was the Australian Grand Prix just gone. I won't spoil it for you. It was a cracker of a race. And then we do a reverse grid for the second race. So this is the APPF1 Sprint Championship. 225% races. So Gilbert joins him on the front row. Sumo in P3 with Tia rounding off the second row. Max in P5 with Patterson. P6, Vardy in P7 with the Ted. P8, Davila P9 with MX rounding off the top 10. Ghost and Palps P11 and 12 with Blair, Alex and Zuba. Your DNFs from last race rounding off the grid at the back. And the bonus for Zuba is the fact he can't get rear-ended into turn 1 if he's got no one behind him. So let's have a look at the tyres that everyone are on. So soft, medium, soft, medium. Yeah, there's 3 softs, everyone else on mediums and 1 hard. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one on strategy, in fact. So who's going to come out on top? I'm not sure. Palps has gone for hard. That's an interesting one. That's a very interesting one. I'm not sure where he's gone for those, because mediums could probably do the whole distance by themselves. So no real need for the hards, I'd say, but we'll see how he gets on. Nonetheless, this is Starry rounding at the grid. Now onto the pit straight off the new banking of turn 15. Very much banked. Nearly, I think, not quite Daytona. I think it's sort of like 40-something degrees banking. Something like that. Seems about right. But nonetheless, we've got all 15 drivers now lined up on the grid. We're waiting for the green flag at the back of the grid, and then the 5 red lights to illuminate your screen. A short run towards turn 1, but a crucial one to set us up for the rest of the race. Starry on pole, Gilbert alongside, and we're waiting now for the 5 red lights. The Netherlands Grand Prix still waiting, and still waiting for the 5 red lights. I don't know whether the lobby's glitched because Sumo's got his way back in. Still waiting. Still waiting. This is like on a road trip where the kids in the back of the car are saying, "Are we there yet?" It's still glitched. It's still not here. Come on, Zubar. Yes, we're waiting. We love a bit of Zubar. Hopefully he doesn't bottle it like he did last race. He's starting at the back of the grid, and he's got it all to gain in this race. Hopefully it's not going to be too glitched for too long, and we can get ourselves under green flag racing very soon. But at the moment I've got no control over the lobby, so maybe a lobby reset is needed, but I'm not sure. If there is one, I'm going to have a look in the Discord chat in case there is one, because last time I got a bit caught out by the Tier 1 race not being restarted, and I was just like, why is everyone crashing and leaving for? But we'll have a look. Cold tyres all around for the grid, so those who started on the softs are going to have a massive advantage in getting those tyres warmed up. But we'll have to see. We'll see. And still waiting. I think a lobby reset is needed, because yeah, these drivers are stuck on the grid and they can't go anywhere. We can't have a race if everyone's stuck on the grid. And hopefully we can sort it out. Whoever commented just got us off 69 comments, which was annoying. Oh well. We are stuck. I can see that MX. Certified bottler, yeah. Very true. He's the native bottler. Migrating host, yeah, I think we are leaving. Oh, and my game's crashed. Game crashed.